What's the goddamn deal, y'all? Look, I know that we have all heard many times that the family court system is biased. It seems to be like against men and it's for women. It's not very often that we actually figure out why. Like, we don't know why. Is it just because they hate men? No, I don't think it's just because they hate men. It's always about money, bro. It's always about money. There's actually a couple of very interesting interviews that Pearl did with a couple people here that they really break down not just how the family court system is completely corrupt, but why. And bro, I'm telling you, it's all about the money, dude. Let's check this shit out here.
And what's the first thing, one of the first things that family law attorneys do when they get a new client? I need to see all your assets. We want to see what you're worth. And they calculate how much of that stuff they can get before the divorce is over.
So let's just say someone's worth $100,000, how would that?
They will take the case, bleed that money down, and when the money is out, they'll say, okay, we got a settlement now.
Oh, and
between the two.
Oh, so they're trying to get the people's net worth to zero, basically. Take all the money they can and then make a settlement. And since it's usually the guy's money, because more often than not, oh, that's why they're lying.
This is all a scam. All of it.
That makes I could not figure out why.
So it's all a goddamn scam. So they're literally like, well, we got this dude here, typically a dude, we're just going to take him for everything he's fucking worth. Wow.
He was lying. Because I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a feeling, I guess, but I'm like, they're hiding something. The way they're answering and responding to these facts is not honest. And I notice it from the tradcons a lot but their ego investments, their religion. So like that's why they do it, I think, anyways. They love their religion, but because they look bad if people knew what they did behind closed doors.
Absolutely. That's my belief. And this is, I couldn't prove this in a study, but I can tell you over and over again, the men I've counseled, they suddenly came to some kind of arrangement precisely when the money was running out.
Wow.
And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that family law attorneys are like ambulance chasers.
What are ambulance? Sorry, I don't get that. Sorry.
Personal injury attorneys that, hang out in hospital ERs and find clients who have been in automobile wrecks, and here I can make you some money. And those guys.
It's kind of a scummy profession, family court, because
family courts are scummy. They're horrible places.
Yeah, but I'm even thinking family law, because unless you're like maybe a men's rights attorney, that sort of thing, it's like odds are you have to screw over men to get paid.
And you don't want a men's rights attorney or anybody identifying that. Here's the problem. The courts hate that. When attorneys come in and act like their male clients actually have rights and there's a constitution and they should be treated this way, courts don't want any of that. They want compliance. I can't tell you how many guys were asking their attorneys, why aren't you saying this? Why aren't you doing that?
I've heard that in the UK too, where they said...
So you don't even have an advantage if you go outside the standard family court system, not using their attorneys, and you get like a MRA, like a lawyer from a men's rights activist organization to come in and actually try to help you out, because they're automatically going to be fucking hated because they're not a part of the system. They're not a part of the buddy plan. That's fucking crazy, dude. So like, what do men do? I think a lot of them have already come to the conclusion that you pretty much just fucking end it, I guess, dude. I mean, that's what a lot of dudes are doing. I wouldn't suggest that.
Their attorneys don't even tell them the right thing to do.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't we fighting this way or that way? Oh, don't worry about it. This is the way it's done, that sort of thing. And of course, it bleeds the family dry of money. And then once that's done, it's like, okay, we're done now.
Oh,
And how does that help anybody? How does that help the kids? Dude, this is why I've been saying this shit, dude. The family court system, the way it's set up right now, it does not benefit the kids. It's not for the kids. It's for the family court system. It's for the state. It's so they can make money off of it. And we're about to get to here just a little bit how they actually make fucking money off of it.
I could not figure out why. And the judges have to be in on it too. So do you think it's just gynocentrism that makes them do this, or the love of money?
I think gynocentrism helps, but I mean, they're attorneys. It's the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because sometimes I wonder
It's
if
always all about the
I don't know,
money.
because there was a switch that clicked for me when I was interviewing men and women would always say they were abused, right? And someone in my comments section said, "Ask if they filed a police report," and I couldn't believe none of them did.
Of course they
And
didn't.
yeah, and that was when I was like, "Oh, these bitches are lying. None of them are telling the truth." Because then I would, it's like you ask one question because your natural reaction when someone says they're abused, I think it's like an empathetic for me anyway was why would you lie about that? I would just believe them. But then I would ask like 2 or 3 questions. Like one chick said that she was thrown down a flight of stairs by her ex-boyfriend, right? So that sounds pretty bad,
That's
right?
pretty rough.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, what led up? And someone in my comment section was like, ask her what led up to the fight. And so she's like, oh, I wouldn't leave his house. So what I think happened based on the way she answered was she wouldn't leave his house. She was making a scene with his kid there, and he was pushing her to get out, and she fell down the flight of stairs because she wouldn't leave.
Yep.
If a bitch is straight up trespassing and you put your fucking hands on her to try to kick her the fuck out, that's abuse. Dude, it's fucking crazy how they can spin everything to be abuse nowadays. And you got so many forms of abuse. You got your psychological abuse, you got your fucking verbal abuse, fucking financial abuse, fucking trying to get them to not spend so much of your goddamn money. These abuse accusations, bro, have like gotten completely out of hand, dude.
Surprising at all.
Yeah, and so and I talked to other guys, and they're like, "Oh, my ex-girlfriend refused to like." They've all have a very similar. Maybe there wasn't a police involved, but you could ask guys, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, women do that all the time. They refuse to leave. They'll make a scene."
Another part of that scenario is guys that are in relationships with women that are psychologically and emotionally very abusive, which like borderline personalities are. They can be horrendously abusive people. A guy will take that abuse for
Wait, what?
years,
Women do that
and
too?
then one day he can't take it anymore and he slaps her. That's all the world will ever see is the moment he
Correct.
slapped her. They won't pay any attention to anything that led up to it. Nothing else matters. He hit a woman. Time to go to jail and take all your stuff. And the guy says, yeah, I did it. And nobody cares that he'd been provoked for years and
Yeah.
abused for years.
Or they'll hit first,
Yep.
and then one day that they get slapped back.
Yep. And the police will arrest the guy in that every time.
Yeah. Well, so I guess my question is in family court. Do you think they know that the women are lying, or
They don't care.
Oh, they don't care.
They know
just
that
easier
they know
for
the
them.
whole thing is corrupt. Steve Baskerville wrote about this very well. They know precisely what they're doing in there. They know exactly what's going on. They know the family's being fleeced for all the money. They know the children are being destroyed. They know that
And they just don't care.
They don't care.
Because they're making money.
It's this is their routine. This is what they do. And family courts that I know of don't have cameras in them. There's no real appeals process for family courts. You just whatever the judge rules, that's it. So
And look, that's the biggest issue, dude. That's the biggest issue, bro, is that the fucking kids are who suffers the most, right? It's the children who suffer the most. And when you remove the father from the household, it interferes with the development of the child. I mean, it's proven that single mothers actually raise a higher chance of getting incarcerated, dropping out of school, experiencing teen pregnancy, not being able to hold jobs, mental and emotional issues, depression. The research on that shit is conclusive.
they have impunity and they can do anything they want, and they do.
I
The only thing that's going to save family courts in this country is bulldozers.
well,
Mow them down and rebuild. It's the only thing that will ever save them. It's just too corrupt.
do you think that's possible?
No.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I wish it was.
I wish they could record it and make it public. I think that would help because I
It would
think
help a lot.
when you put the light on something unjust, then people start to speak out, and they actually. That's why sometimes these tradcons, I'll do debates with them, and I'm just like, why don't you come with me and go tell the men that served their country and got divorced, raped, got their children taken, that they're not a real man. Go tell them. Go ahead. That it's their fault their marriage ended.
Well, it won't be anything they haven't heard 1,000 times already.
Yeah.
The world is so gynocentric. One of the biggest problems that I have with guys going through divorce is that their own families turn on them.
Oh my gosh, I interviewed one guy, his whole family.
Dude, everybody will turn on you. Literally, our whole culture is just like, it's telling men constantly, man up and marry that woman, man up and pay that child support. Nobody fucking gives a fuck, dude.
Yep.
His whole family believed he was an abuser for like, they came around like 5 years later, but yes, she got his whole
A little bit
family-
late for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Guys, their own fathers, their own mothers turn on them and side with the abusive woman. It's amazing. That is when you take fundamental biological gynocentrism, which arguably is a necessity, and you turn it into that, you've got a crazy world. And I don't see what there is to stop it at this point other than, eventually the society will collapse. And that'll be the start of something new and maybe a little bit better. But until then, I don't see anything changing. It's too profitable and it's too easy for people. If people can turn on their own children because a woman said he hit me or he was mean to me, man, we're alone.
And that is ultimately what's probably going to have to happen, dude. Like, the results of the family court system right now, it's impacting our society for sure, without a doubt. For the negative. And if it continues to get worse and worse, and we continue to raise our children to be less quality versions of themselves, and in most cases absolute fucking degenerates, then yeah, ultimately society probably will collapse in on itself.
Away from being able to fix anything.
And they never ask, even the Michael Knowles interview, he didn't ask her any freaking. I'm like, guys, you don't ask any questions.
I think Michael is challenged. Sorry.
You think he's like mentally challenged?
Well,
he's like a smart guy, but.
Well, simps are some of the smartest people you'll meet, some of the dumbest people. It's not about intelligence or culture or race or ethnicity or religion or anything. Simping, it runs through the veins of Western.
It is literally. It's literally most of the conservative people that are still pushing for marriage, as if traditional marriage is still a thing. Traditional marriage is not still a thing. It's over with. It's cooked. The women are no good. The men have no fucking balls. Dude, traditional marriage is fucking cooked, y'all. God damn, dude. And it's always your conservatives. Though that PragerU sort of fucking conservative group of people like Michael Knowles, dude, they're not getting it, bro. They're not fucking getting it. It's no longer a good thing to encourage people to get married anymore. And I don't even say that. I'm not even proud about saying that. Dude, I love fucking the idea of marriage and having families and raising your kids and shit, but the system is fucking broken. It's been broken and it's only getting worse.
Men, period. And then you get people like Knowles will be like, yeah, marry a hoe. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would let, I wonder if Michael would let
man up and marry her.
Saved pedophile watch his children.
Never.
If you're using his logic.
Yeah, but he thought it was wise to bring a woman that used to get men to cheat around married men.
Yes.
Like, she's going to end up fucking one of the, sorry by the language, but I'm a swearer, I don't know. But, like, she's going to end up having sex with one of the married guys, and they're going to be like, what happened? How did this?
All right, so we went through, the fact that the family court system is corrupt. We went through a little bit of how and why, but I do have one more video I want to check out, because this guy, just a couple minutes of this video right here, because he actually explains financially why it is.
And so overall family court reform, and I think I can state that very simply, Earl, is in this: unless under the criminal rules, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, unless under a criminal trial, a jury has found that you have abused your children or you abandoned your children, right? There's neglect and abuse. Those are the two sides of the spectrum. Everything in between is legitimate parenting. And the state should have no discretion to interfere with your parenting if there's been no criminal finding of abuse or neglect. And we need to take discretion away from these judges. They've just shown they can't use discretion wisely. But of course, as you know, we're up against Title IV-D and the massive funding to the states. And that's what family courts really are. They're just funding vehicles. Texas gets $500 million a year from Title 4D. So, what I've proposed in Texas is that you're not going to get the state to give up $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, good luck.
So, right. So, what I proposed is that agencies that collect these funds can't use them. They have to go to other purposes and can't benefit those agencies, which reduces their incentive to collect them.
Wait, say that. Can you give me an example of how that would work?
Yeah. So the Texas attorney, the reason that family courts were created, they're actually an accounting mechanism so that state can prove that you pay the child support to get the matching dollars. Like the child support that I used to pay, the state would make about $21,000 a year from me. Mm-hmm. Okay. So because I'm paying the state to child support, they can account for every dollar and make sure they get paid. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the Texas Attorney General's office in Texas is the.
So it's basically like grant money. It's like it's federal funding to the state, basically grant money. It's kind of like say like when states get federal funding for like every person that's in jail. They get like say $100 a day. It's federal money to the fucking state. It's not just the attorney general is just sitting there fucking collecting money and passing it all to the baby mamas. No, they're getting so much, like so many cents per dollar, or whether it's like 60 cents, 66. It varies from state to state, but yes, they have incentive to charge as much money as they possibly can and cycle as much money as they possibly can through the attorney general for the sake of in the name of child support.
One that collects this money, they do all the grant applications and everything, so they get the money. Well, the point is that the Texas Attorney General's office should not be able to spend that money. It should have to go somewhere else. It should go to border enforcement or some other part of state funding to reduce the incentive for them to constantly, create more. Like people don't get that the reason the family courts always give the children to the dysfunctional parent. It's a very simple calculation on their part. I watched a mother who, after a year, was able to successfully pass a 30-day heroin drug test. She's a heroin addict. The father had custody and had been given custody a year before. I'm sitting there waiting to go into my hearing, and I'm listening to this one.
So that what he just now said right there is fucking huge, bro. It's fucking huge. It's actually proving that there's a reason why the courts always grant custody to the most incompetent fucking parent, right? The most incompetent parent, because the most competent parent is going to be the one working and making money. If they give the fucking custody of the child to the most competent parent, then the state makes no money off of it.
And she passed this drug finally after 3 failed ones. And the judge immediately gave the children back to the mom, the heroin addict.
It's got to be because the dysfunctional parent's never going to be able to pay.
That's right. Yeah, they'll never pay child support.
That woman's never going to hold a job if she's
correct.
Like, barely passing drug tests.
Correct.
And then
so they.
And this is how we fuck our children up, right? This is how we damage the fucking future generations of the fucking nation, right? You get the fucking custody of the children to the less competent parent, and then now that lack of competency is instilled on the children, right? This is how a nation fucking declines, y'all.
The judges are incentivized the children to the dysfunctional parent.
But are the judges getting money out of this? They are in some
states. They are.
Yeah, it's like
some states.
Is it their retirement? It's something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. In some states, judicial retirement funds are tied to how much Title 4D funds that they bring in for the state. In Texas, the Texas Attorney General's office gives judges quotas before they ever hear cases. They're given a dollar quota for the year that they have to give in divorces. So that's why sometimes
So there's direct incentive as to why judges will make as much money for the state as they possibly can through systems like the child support. Because they're rewarded. They're financially rewarded off of it. It goes into their fucking retirement funds and shit. And then, like you said, some states actually have quotas. Dude. That's a fucking huge problem right there, y'all. That's a huge fucking problem, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is how we destroy our children while the state makes money. This is why the fucking state does not care about your children. The fucking the family court system, it's not in the benefit of the child. The way they have it set up right now, conveniently, right, is they try to say that the child is better off going to the parent that spent the most time with the child. But we have no proof, we have no evidence as to why that's actually better for the children. There's no research, there's no data to support that whoever that child spent the most time with is who that child is better off going with. Bro, there's no fucking dude. We're cooked, y'all. We're cooked. This is how a nation declines, bro. This is how we fucking destroy our country. All right, y'all. Hey, look, give me a fucking like, subscribe, drop comments, tell me your thoughts about this fucking issue right here, dude. I appreciate all the engagement. Brand new channel, dude. Just trying to get it up and going. So fucking hook your boy up.